All right, good morning, everybody. It is day 3 on me and my grandpa's road trip, and where are we heading today?
Well, we're heading into Death Valley. We're just outside of Death Valley right now. It's overcast, kind of disappointing, but it looks like the sun's trying to come out a little bit, so we'll see what happens.
Yep, we're gonna definitely make the most of it to visit Death Valley for the first time. We are currently in Beatty, Nevada, which is located just outside of Death Valley here along US 95. We're only about 10 minutes away from the park, so you excited to visit Death Valley for the first time, even though it's probably not the most ideal day to go?
Yeah, I've never been here, so here, I'm gonna go check it out.
All right, let's hit the road.
Admittedly, it was a pretty cold and rainy day, so our expectations were pretty low as we came into the park, as the weather was not looking too good for the rest of the day, but we kept our hopes pretty high that we were going to have a good time in the park.
Welcome to Death Valley National Park.
Which is the hottest, driest, and lowest place in North America, although it doesn't really look like that today.
It took us roughly 1 hour to drive from the park entrance on the Nevada side down to the Furnace Creek Visitor Center there in Death Valley National Park.
I'm so used to being really high in elevation, but now I'm pretty low.
Yeah, we are low. We're at 190 feet below sea level, actually.
Yep, and we got about 100 feet more to go until we reach the lowest point in North America.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
The Furnace Creek Visitor Center is by far the largest visitor center in the park, and it's also where you can pay the National Park Service fee.
All right, me and Grandpa made it here to the Furnace Creek Visitor Center here in Death Valley. Do you know what happened here on July 10, 1913?
Yeah, the hottest temperature ever recorded was here at this area here at Furnace Creek at 134 degrees.
That was pretty hot, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I really like how they have this thermometer outside the visitor center for the added effect of how hot or cold it can get here.
All right, me and Grandpa are here in mid-March, and it's actually pretty cool for this time of the year. And that temperature right there is less than half of the record high temperature that was set here on July 10, 1913. Aren't you glad we're here now?
Yeah, I am. It's actually very cold today. Obviously, we've had a storm front come through, and it's been raining for the last couple days down here, so that's a reflection of that.
Yep.
Believe it or not, Death Valley is the largest national park in the lower 48 and the 5th largest national park in the U.S. overall at just over 3.4 million acres.
This is the way we came in right here through Beatty, then over Daylight Pass, and then we made our way down to here, and this is where we are now. We're gonna go down to Badwater and then loop back around out of the park this way. Highest point in California and lower 48 right there, and the lowest point in North America right there, less than 100 miles apart.
We spent a good amount of time here at the Furnace Creek Visitor Center just taking in all the information that they have displayed here, which talks about how Death Valley is the hottest, driest, and lowest place in North America. Death Valley National Park is really a land of extremes when it comes to temperature, precipitation, and elevation. Unfortunately, due to bad weather and time restraints, we didn't get to spend as much time as I originally wanted here in Death Valley National Park. We had about a 7-hour drive to get back home after we left the park, and I would really love to return one day to really see everything that there is to see here in the largest national park in the lower 48. For a true size comparison, Death Valley is larger than Rhode Island and Delaware combined and is about the same size as the island of Puerto Rico. After visiting the visitor center, we drove about 30 minutes south to Badwater Basin, which is the lowest point in North America. One thing I made sure to do was to buy a stamp for my stamp booklet, as well as to stamp it for my visit here in Death Valley National Park. Which stamp do you think I'll be adding next to this book? Let me know in the comments.
Well, my grandpa and I have made it to Badwater Basin, the lowest point in North America.
Yeah, it's pretty neat here. It's an awful rugged area with all these hills and mountains around here.
And are my eyes deceiving me, or is that a lake out there?
Yeah, that is a lake out there.
You ready to go check it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
I was really excited to visit Badwater Basin here because there's an ancient lake that's been revived due to all the rain that we've gotten in California over the last year. Before heading out onto the boardwalk into Badwater Basin, we made sure to check out all the information plaques as well as to get some photos there of the famous sign letting you know that you're at the lowest point in North America. One thing that's worth noting is that you probably don't want to be here in the summertime after 10 a.m. or before 6 p.m. because it can get extremely hot here and it can be very life-threatening, especially during hot summer days here in Death Valley National Park. That should go without saying though. But luckily when we were here it was a very cool spring day and we didn't have anything to worry about. Being here at Badwater Basin at the lowest point in North America has always been on my bucket list, and I'm glad I got to cross it off my list on this particular day.
Right up there on the hill, you can see the sign where it says sea level. I think that's pretty cool in my opinion.
As we made our way out to Badwater Basin, we walked through the salt and mud to check out the return of Lake Manley. I could hardly contain my excitement to witness just a once-in-a-generational thing here in Death Valley National Park. The last time Lake Manley reappeared was 2005, just to put things into perspective. Lake Manley is a pluvial lake that occasionally appears after very wet winters or periods of above-average precipitation in Death Valley. Normally, Badwater Basin receives an average of 2 inches of rain per year, and sometimes it gets no measurable rainfall during really dry years. The last year, Badwater Basin has received nearly 7 inches of rain from the remnants of Hurricane Hilary back in August, as well as the recent winter we just had here in California. As recently as a few weeks prior to our visit, the national park was allowing people to kayak out on the ancient lake. However, when we visited, the lake had receded and was not deep enough to allow such activity. It is unknown for how long Lake Manley will remain here in Badwater Basin. Some people think it will dry up as early as late April, and some people believe it will stick around as late as July or August. I feel so incredibly lucky that I was able to see this once-in-a-generation event here in the hottest, driest, and lowest place in North America. My grandpa and I spent about 30 minutes here just taking in the sights, sounds, and views here in Badwater Basin. It was a Saturday in mid-March, and I'm sure everyone here was trying to take in the sights and sounds of this once-in-a-generation event here in Death Valley National Park, just like us.
All right, so what are your thoughts on this right here, Badwater Basin, seeing this gigantic lake here? You should really count yourself lucky that you're actually seeing a lake here, because this is pretty much a once-in-a-generational type of thing right here. The last time there was a lake here in Badwater Basin was 2005, so it's been nearly 20 years.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome to see this. Like I said, I've never been to Death Valley. This was my first time, and it's a pretty neat place. This particular area here with the lake, Kyle was saying that they had 6 inches of rain here in a short period of time, and you could see that there was a lot of runoff, and that's how this lake filled back up again. So it's a neat area.
Are you glad you got to see it here?
Yeah, I am glad, you know, because I probably never would have saw it unless we came here.
Yeah.
It's really neat. I mean, it's all alkaline. You can see it's nothing but salt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all salt below us here, and the water is actually alkaline. And probably in a month or so, it's probably going to be gone.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
I still can't believe I'm sitting here in Death Valley National Park, and there's a giant lake in front of me here, at the lowest point in North America. Not the best day to come here, but I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I got to see this.
It took us nearly 2 hours to drive out of Death Valley National Park along California State Route 190. I really wish my grandpa and I could spend more time here, but I'm sure we will be back here very soon. And that's going to conclude my grandpa and I's time in Death Valley National Park. We hope you enjoyed watching the video.
Yeah, we had a really good time. It's our first time being here. It's a pretty amazing park. I recommend it to everyone, and I want to say thank you and say goodbye.
And it's also a very big national park, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You can spend days in here.
That is for sure. All right, thank you for watching, and we will see you for the next adventure.
All right, goodbye.